Here's a story that doesn't surprise me one bit. It does surprise me because I actually get insurance from these people. Geico. We have evidence that, and I'm actually trying to go back to the original source. I don't have the original source in front of me. But there is I want to call it a hood tax. There is a hood tax that happens too often in the black community where you will pay more for insurance. You will pay more just going to Walmart. I actually experienced this myself. You could go to a Walmart. I was doing a collection of frames to do a thing that I was doing, and I had to go to 5 Walmarts to get enough frames. Went to the black community, went to the white community, you know, they exist, right? And paid more in the black community than I did in the white communities, Walmart. And when I called in to Walmart headquarters or district headquarters or whatever, they expressly said that it's a tax. It's basically a tax because they have to pay more for security. They have to pay for all these other costs. This is just one example. This is just one example of how people in impoverished and marginalized community far too often find themselves paying a poverty tax. I want to pull up 2 images on your screen so that you can see it for yourself. On the first image, you see a graph of Geico's rates in Missouri. And you see on the left axis, on the vertical axis, you see liability premiums for a 30-year-old who is a safe driver. The pink line represents what you would pay if you're a minority. The blue line represents what you would pay if you were white. Clearly a discrepancy, but it didn't stop there. If you go to the next image, you can see a similar trend for results of the study in Illinois. And you can see the same axis on the left, liability premiums for a 30-year-old safe driver. So we're not talking about any difference in age, and we're not talking about any difference in what's on their driving record, right? This is a scientific study. So they have a control. And then you see that even controlled for age and controlled for driving experience or whether or not you're a safe driver, minorities, people of color usually pay more than white drivers who are the same age and the same level of driving. There was here in Boston an incident, a citywide incident where Amazon was looking to do same-day delivery throughout the city of Boston, Boston proper, but they completely avoided Roxbury, which is dead smack in the middle of Boston. And so for you to get a same-day delivery, you could live to the north, to the south, to the east, to the west of Roxbury and get same-day delivery, but you couldn't get it if you lived in Roxbury. $5 of monopoly money for anyone who could tell me what you think the predominant race is of people living in Roxbury, Massachusetts. I'm not, I guess I can't even really be upset about this, right? As much as I probably could want to rant over this, this is not a surprise. This is a very consistent thing that has happened for a very long time in every facet of life. Everything from the interest rates that you can get at your bank to your ability to get a mortgage in the first place, to redlining, to your schools, to the types of classes you can get in your schools, to get offered at your schools. And then if you go to a mixed school where it's a diverse school, then you have situations where minority students are not afforded the same classes as their white counterparts at the same damn school. And it's often such a subtle thing that it's very difficult to root out or even to discover, except for when you finally find out that this has been happening all of this time. So I'm actually kind of curious. I want to go back to Florida. Hell, I guess I should just look in Boston, right? See my premiums and compare them to Max. Let's check our premiums. We should do that. Like, well, you don't drive a car right now, so you don't have that. I'm really curious. How far does this go? Like, I haven't gotten a ticket in forever. I wonder if I'm paying more right now, Geico. Matter of fact, I'm gonna call you guys after the show. 857-600-0518. Instead of talking about it, I'm just gonna call you guys after the show and see, start doing some investigation on that for myself.